What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tony,
And I'm Tim.
and welcome to the Raw Talk Christian Podcast. Man, Tim, tell everybody what Raw Talk is all about, bro.
Man, Raw Talk is simply about overcoming. Like everybody has something to overcome, and we talk about the beginning stages, the middle stages, and the end stages of overcoming.
Oh, man, that sounds familiar.
Yes.
All right.
Did I do it good?
Man, that was pretty
Man,
good.
that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Man, we ready to go into it?
Yeah, let's go, man.
All right, cool.
What we talking about, man?
Man, we are talking about overcoming no. Dun-dun-dun. Yeah, man. No is an answer that, man, everybody has heard before.
Mm-hmm.
We've all heard the word no. And it's so, but here's the thing. We're talking about overcoming no. So, Tim,
Yes, sir.
when we talk about overcoming no, man, what comes to mind, bro?
Ooh, no, the word no, for me, initially brings about the feeling of rejection, blockage, of just negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can't do this, and no, you can't go here, and no, you can't buy this, and no, you can't be in this area. No, and no, and no, and no is initially
Right.
the first thought that comes to mind
Right.
is a negative connotation.
Right. So let me ask you this. Can no and rejection be two different things?
No, yeah, that's a good question, man. Because no and rejection are just opposite. You know what I'm saying? They can be not necessarily opposite, but they can be distinctively two different things
Right.
in themselves. So but because again we associate rejection with a negative connotation, and then we say no because a lot of times we hear the word no and it's in a negative connotation because it's prohibiting us from doing something that we want to do.
Right.
Then we see that as a negative, then we just put them all in the same batch with
Right.
these things are negative.
Right.
You know, so that's why we can kind of sometimes say they can kind of interchange or they can
Right.
overlap because we have grouped them
Right.
into the same category.
Right. I mean, because so what you're saying is really no can just essentially mean it's just an answer.
Yes.
Would you like something to drink?
No.
Oh, I'm rejected.
He rejected my offer.
Right.
I can't believe it.
Right. So, I mean, man, I think there are some things that we really just have to look at it face value.
Yeah.
No, it's an answer. It's just no.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you are being rejected. That's another topic for another show.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
but we're talking about overcoming no. So like if we may deal with you maybe feeling rejected, but that's not what we're really talking about is in the sense of rejection, you know.
Yes.
So we want you to overcome no, you know, and there are in more ways than one where we want you to do this, right?
Yes, definitely.
Because talk about it, Tim, man.
Because no doesn't always have to be a bad thing. You know, sometimes no, as a parent, like I say, if we talk about the word no itself, it could be no because as a parent, you ask me for this candy, and I can say, no, you don't need this candy because this candy is not good for you to only eat candy and eat candy all day long, all the time, because there are some things that come from that. You get your sugar rushes and then your drops, and then you get messed up teeth, and then your health and all this other stuff like that. And so you can't live off candy. A kid can't live off candy alone. You know what I'm saying?
You got to go there.
You know what I'm saying? So when I say no as a parent, even though you wanted to do it,
Right.
and because candy tastes good to you, and it makes you feel good when you get that sugar high and you jumping all over the place, you ask me for it, and I say no because it's something you want to do. You feel like, man, that's mean.
Right.
That's
right.
not fair.
Right. So even on that note, as you know, saying no as a parent, I want to deal with that too, because like we need to overcome not saying no, because there are a lot of times where we should say no,
Yes, come on, man.
and we don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so in a sense, if you want to, you know, we preachers, you know, so the subtopic of this
Come on, Doc.
is overcoming being a yes man or a yes woman.
He's
All
about the
right.
brakes, Doc.
Because we need to, so like we'll overexert ourselves trying to please folks,
Yes.
you know, trying to please people, and when really, I mean, there is a lot of cases we should say no.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm writing emails, and I have a hard time typing those two letters, N-O.
Yeah.
Even in text message. And the reason why is because it's, you know, it's like we stated in the beginning. It's almost as if, you know, it's a negative, you know, feeling, like a feeling of rejection.
Yes.
You know.
It's one of those words where, you know, sometimes you're taught, don't say can't. Don't say I can't. You always find another way. You know, if people beating their kid, you don't say I can't do this. Don't say you can't. You know, say because you can. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is. But it's like don't say can't.
Right.
And no is another one of those words. Also, don't say no. Don't tell me no. Tell me a solution.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's one of those kind of words that we kind of put over there. But like in what you were saying, there's sometimes no is a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes we need to learn the ministry of no.
Man.
Because like you said, we'll end up killing ourselves. Sometimes literally and figuratively.
Right.
But we end up killing ourselves doing and going and doing and going for everybody else every time somebody asks to do something. Just because you're good at something and people know you're good at something.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you have to always be the go-to person. Now I'm saying, I'm not telling you to avoid what God has called you to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But every time somebody says something, sometimes you can mess around and end up getting used.
Right.
You know, so sometimes you do have to say the word no as a boundary for yourself,
Right.
to allow people to respect you, your time, your energy, your family, your mental health. You know what I'm saying? Your sanity. So
Right.
sometimes you have to say no.
Right. So I think you got to know you to say no.
Come on.
And what I mean is, like, so if you continue to say, you know how like they say, you know, doing too much, you're going to end up dropping the ball somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Hey, can you run to the store? Yeah. Can you go put some gas in my car? Yeah. Can you pick the kids up? Yeah. Don't forget the milk. All right. Yeah. You know, so like, and one of those things you're going to forget. And Lord, please don't let it be the kids and don't let it be the gas. you know, so, but you got to, so when you don't know you and say yes to all of these things, like I said, you're gonna forget something. You're gonna drop the ball on something. So, but when you know you can say, nope, because I got this going on. Nope, because I got that going on.
I'm glad you said that.
No, because like me and my, like, for instance, you know, Tim, I was like, hey man, let's go, you know, let's do a podcast. Nope, because I got to do this with the kids. Oh, I felt rejected. Tim rejected me.
Right.
No, that ain't never happened,
Right.
man. But that's just the thing though. Because here's the thing. There is value in your no. And you show that value right after your no.
Yeah.
You can, you know, you can say, if like, for example, the example of, you know, doing a podcast, you know, hey man, let's go and record a podcast. no, I won't be able to do it because me and the family, we going out to here, or me and the family is going there.
Right.
You know,
right.
there was a whole lot of value in that no.
Right.
So, like, I think one of the things that, you know, and I don't want to go too far because I know you had a point, man.
No, I like the fact that you said that because there is a right way and a wrong way to say no.
Right. Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because, no, man, God, why y'all always asking me to do something? God, I said I do it when I do it. No, you ain't got to do all that.
Right, right.
Just like, but the example you gave, no, I won't be able to do it this time because blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And even if you don't feel like giving the whole explanation, like, hey, unfortunately, at this time, I won't be able to do it.
Right.
Bam, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you don't have to be spewing and venomous when you say no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just say, no, I'm not, this is at this time. Or I'm not gonna be able to do it this time for you, but maybe in the future I may be able to do it.
Right, right. I mean, man, it's a lot of people who miss out on you because you don't say no.
Mm-hmm.
Your family misses out on you because you don't say no to your job.
Mm-hmm.
We need somebody for overtime, and they know who to come to
Yeah.
because you always say yes.
Yep.
You know, they have mistaken your reach for a promotion or taken advantage of your reach for a promotion.
Come on, man. That's it right. Boy, come on.
They've taken advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, we need you to work over. They don't even ask it. They say it in the General Assembly, but they looking at you. Hey, Sarah, we need you to come work overtime. Yeah. You know, they ain't say your name, but they looking at you. You know,
exactly.
We need you to work overtime. You know, and you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now get this, because you've never said no. Now they come demand and command you to do things because you've never said no, because you've never put up a boundary.
Ooh. Are we talking about boundaries or no?
Oh, wait.
That's hey man, that's good. Because that's real good. If you, I'm trying not to get on boundaries, but
go ahead,
if
man.
you establish, what happens is sometimes we get in situations and we allow ourselves to not say no for so long that people begin to expect it of you. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, when you do say no, or when you do reach a point to where you start valuing your time, you know what I'm saying? And then you say, no, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Then because you've never said no before, then they are offended. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, how dare you say no? I'm relying on you to do this, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have I've not made any other plans because you've always said yes, you know, but when you actually come into a situation and you are intentional about placing value on your time, yourself, your family, you know what I'm saying? You may have to say no early on. It's not no all the time. But to let them know that occasionally, I was occasionally I will say no, but no, occasionally I will say yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But don't be offended if I say no.
Right. And even like you can do a hesitant no. And what I mean is, okay, let me see what I have going on, and then I'll get to you. And once you've done your assessment, then you can render, no, I won't be able to do it. But the thing is, you got to know you, and you got to have value or place value with your no.
Yes.
Do that. Because, like, if you're just saying nope, people will, maybe you get your desired effect to where people will never come to you again. But when it comes for benefits and good things like that, yeah, you know, so you kind of missed out.
Yeah.
You know yourself out of some stuff, you know. But like I said, it's more about getting to know you and place value in yourself, you know. And that's what we're really talking about. And so when you say no, it's you know, you've taken an assessment of the things that you have going on. You know, whether it's family and not only that, but you're reminding people of other things that is like, hey, no, like for instance, you know, I had a boss come to me and say, hey, can you do this? And they come asking because I had to say no before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can you do this? I have the ability to do it, but remember you had just asked me to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So like, because saying no can get you out of trouble. It can.
Yeah.
It can in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Can I get your number? Nope, I'm married.
Talk about it, man.
Are these your kids? Nope. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it can get you out of trouble because here's the thing: if you say yes to everything, people are gonna expect you to come through on everything that you said yes to.
Right.
So that long laundry list of things that you said you would do, they're gonna expect that. And when you don't give them that, whether it's your boss, whether it's your wife, whether it's your kids, whether it's your family or friends or whatever, they're gonna say, you know what, you can't depend on him.
Yeah.
You can't depend on him. Yeah, he said yeah, but you can't depend on him because they dropped the ball on this.
Yep.
Well, didn't you have him doing this, and this? Well, he said he can do it.
Yep.
She said she can do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So saying no, knowing when to say no, knowing how to say no, and knowing why to say no, will get you out of trouble, man.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
And I say it's a gift because a lot of people have not actually walked in the fulfillment of that gift. And because of them not being able to walk in the fulfillment of them being able to say no, again, I know I said it before, but there's unnecessary stress and pressure and demand that we put on ourselves because we have not learned how to say two little bitty words. Two little letters. No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Right.
I know we talk about all these exterior things, to where it's like, it gives you the ability to have time with time with your wife, time with your spouse, your children, and this and the other. But first and foremost, what it does, it gives you the ability to have time with yourself.
That's right.
Because again, you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, before you can even help your family, your close family. You know what I'm saying? So let alone anybody else in the workforce, anyplace else. So that no is good for you also.
Right.
So again, so when it comes to us saying no, it is extremely important for us to learn, like you said, how, when, why, and you know what I'm saying, to do that.
Right.
But when we talked about from the perspective of us saying no. What about from the perspective of us hearing no?
Right. Oh man.
Well, when you hear the word no, when you are asking for something, what's the first thing kind of come to your mind?
So it's like you said earlier. It's we think denial or rejection. We don't think that no is just the answer. It's what? One of the things that come to mind is they hating. You gonna tell me no? He just hating on me. What? What does no have to do with hating? I've heard this so many times though. I went and asked him if I could have this. He gonna tell me no, man. He a hater.
He don't want to see me shine.
Like, where did that come from?
All right.
He said no. You can't have $10. Maybe he didn't have it. Broke self.
Right.
He broke.
And then you talk from the same thing, man. It's like sometimes people will look at you as like when you hear the word no, it's like or somebody's the word no is being put out there like this, like, well, why is he being lazy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do they just not want to do it?
Right.
Well, if I'm coming from perspective, when I hear the word no, some of the things that I could think of would be like, why don't they want to help me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Why can't I have what I like?
Right.
Depending on who I'm talking to in a situation, like, why is it that they are not willing to?
Right.
Why is it that they are blocking me? I can get the hating part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why is it that they're saying no?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you hear the word no, it's not just a no and then it just stops automatically. Because there are going to be some additional questions.
Right.
Right. So this is what kind of puts me in the mind of like, okay, but you said no, but why?
Right. Yeah. And so in prepping for this, I asked a question: is it important for us to know why to know? Like we when we receive the answer no, is it important for us to question why? Should we know why we receive no?
And thinking about that, like especially like if for me, when I hear the word no, I want to get an understanding. So for me, it's important. If somebody is saying no, and I gave an example earlier, like if I apply for a job and they say that, we didn't accept you for this position. So basically saying no.
Right.
My next question is gonna be like, okay, so can you tell me why? Can you tell me why? Because is there something that I need to go back and work on? Is there something that I was lacking? Is there something I could do so that if the opportunity presents itself again in the future, that I can be more prepared for it? And so for me, sometimes when I hear no, I want to get an understanding as to why you are saying no.
Right.
It's not from a position of like, I deserve this,
right,
and you should have gave me this,
right,
and you need to tell me why you didn't give it to me.
Right.
No, it's
right.
like, okay, I need to know so that in the future,
right,
if I ask this question again, if I try this again, how can I be better prepared
right,
for this situation?
Right. So, I'm not gonna say that it's important. I will say, it's okay to know why. But I won't say it's important. So like, I think we were talking earlier, and we've said it. You don't lie. Don't lie. You said it, and we've heard it because I said so. We've heard that.
Right.
When Mama, can I go to the movies? No. Why? Because I said so.
Yeah.
And we've heard that and we've said that, But here's the thing, and I don't want to go back. I don't want to double back on anything that I may have said earlier. I do understand the phrase because I said so. I do understand that because here's the thing, some things you really don't want to have to explain. God don't want to have to explain things to us. God wants us to just trust him when he tells us no. And so like if my kids were to ask me, can I go to the movies? And I say, no, not tonight. I want them to trust me on that because one of the things I know my kids are not doing, they're not watching the news. They're not watching how people are storming up in movie theaters or, going into public places and shooting people or leaving chemicals on people's cars so they can, poison them or, kidnap and stuff like that. They're not watching stuff like that. So that's something I'm not really ready to explain to my kids on why I'm saying no.
Because they couldn't understand it.
They couldn't understand that. So what I want them to do is to trust me. And in the same sense, there are some things that God just wants us to trust him when he says no. He wants us to, and don't get me wrong, there are times where we can go to God and say, okay, Lord, you said no on this. You know, can you tell me why? For not, you know, Archie and Lucy. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. No,
right.
not. It's not. We're trying to tell God you need to explain yourself. You know, it's bring me into relationship, because understanding brings people into relationship. Asking why, you know, brings people into relationship. So I get that, you know, but there are times where God is just like, trust me.
And see, I'm glad you said that too, because about the relationship part, because there's levels to it. There's levels to relationships. And so on certain levels of a relationship, you have access to a person. I know I said this in previous podcast, but on certain level, you have this much access. But then on the next level, you might have a bit more access. Then on another level, you might have even more access. You know, so when I have if Benjamin is 6 years old, right? My son being 6 years old, he would come to me and say, "Hey, Dad, I want this," and I'm like, "No, not right now." And then he'd be like, "Why?" Again, like you just said, if I was to explain to him, he might not understand it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, I just need you to trust me, son, because I said no. Just, you know, just roll with it. You know what I'm saying? But then my daughter, who is 16, you know what I'm saying? If she comes to me and say, "Hey, Dad, can I have this?" And I have to say no to her, she's like, "Okay, Dad, can you tell me why?" Because we've had a much longer relationship.
Right.
We've had more time to spend with each other. We've grown and developed over time. I don't love her any more than I love Benjamin at 6 years old and her being 16. But the fact is, we spend more time. We have time and game. You know what I'm saying? And so when she comes to me, because she is more mature, you know what I'm saying, and she asks me why, I might be able to tell her, because this, and this is why I came to this conclusion why you shouldn't do that at this point. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, it's about relationship.
It is.
You know, so when you hear that no, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking the question, but you also have to remember where you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your relationship.
Right.
You know.
Right. So, I mean, for the viewers, you know, what do you think about that? What's your take? Is it important for you to receive explanation on why you were told no? You know, type it up in the chat, you know, or in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on that, and you know, bring it up in discussion with some folks, man. You know, do you have to know why you were told no? You know, is it important for you? And it's going to be like we say, to each his own.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
And situations will vary, because believe it or not, there are a lot of times where we'll be like, oh, that's why he said no.
Yeah.
And you know, come on, we we're grown. It's like, oh, dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Come on, Doc.
You know, so so that's why he said no. Ooh, what my life would have been, and, you know,
Lord Jesus.
So you got to think about those things too, where you know, okay, you know, glad God said no. You know, so.
And then also, you look at it like this. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But no doesn't necessarily always mean forever. Sometimes no can mean not right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there are different kinds of no's. So every no is not it's like love. In the Bible, you know, it's different types of love. You know what I'm saying? So there are different types of no's. Some no's can mean no, stop. You know what I'm saying? Just shut it off right there. No. Then there's some no's say, hey, not right now, maybe later. Then there's some no's say, hey, no, you're not prepared for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, and so on and so forth. So every no is not the same no.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I mean, so like, there are no's that we want to tell the devil, no, that's rejection. You know. But then there are no's that develop us. There are no's that really grow us up. It matures us. You know, because like even when we're told no, our understanding of the no could also show us how to say no and when to say no and why to say no, you know?
Yeah.
So like now we're growing into, you know, like we were saying in the first half of the show. Now we're growing into knowing how to say no and stuff like that.
Right.
Go ahead,
So
man.
you think, I was sitting there thinking, like, how many millionaires and Fortune 500 company owners and business people have the testimony said that if this person hadn't have told me no,
Right.
I wouldn't be where I am now.
Right.
If it wasn't for them saying no, you can't have this,
Right.
or you can't do this, or no, you're not qualified, or no, you're not this, then it wouldn't have propelled me to be where I am now. So sometimes that no, or that rejection, or however you want to phrase it, that no, like Tony said, it can develop us.
Right.
Because it gives us an opportunity to, it's almost, it challenges us to think differently.
Right.
You know,
Right.
if we always hear yes, Lord help me. You think about some of the children. I'm not saying everybody, but some of the children who come from a very, 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 very affluent family, very, very rich family. You know what I'm saying? That never had to do anything, never had to work for anything, never had to lift a finger for anything, and they've always been told yes. And then if something was to happen, and they lose all their wealth, or either their parents say, "I'm gonna push you out into society now. You gotta fend for yourself." Then, because they've never heard the word no, when they get out here in this world, whose favorite word is no. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you're out here and you're lost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes no can develop you into changing your methods. It can change your mind frame. It can change your trajectory as a whole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For good or for bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So like, no could save you from being a total failure. Like Tim just said, you know, some millionaires or billionaires, if they would have been told yes in some of their endeavors or all of their endeavors, you know, maybe we wouldn't have an Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we wouldn't have, you know, a Tesla or you know, or even a Walmart or whatever. Maybe we wouldn't have the very first black president of the United States.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe we wouldn't have a, you know, very first female black president, vice president. You know, if they were told yes on all of their endeavors.
Yeah.
You know, man, you know, some folks, you know what, I'm gonna just stay here. You know, can I crash on your couch? Can I stay here forever? Yep. That's where you're gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you were told no,
and you had to sleep in the car like Tyler Perry did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, I'm sorry, I ain't mean
Go
jump
ahead.
in. I mean jump on it.
Because go ahead, because stay in that vein, because here's the thing. No can push you into a grind. It can push you into a grind.
Yes.
No can push you to hustle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like, if you were spoiled with yeses, man, you are, you know, you can become a rotten person and think that you're entitled to everything. And
come on.
I'ma say this, and it may be touchy.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes, it is. But here's the thing, though. There are a lot of folks who didn't accept no, and they're in jail right now. Locked up right now because they didn't accept no. And you know the phrase, no means no.
Yeah.
But to those who've heard yes, 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 to those privileged people who all they heard is yes, they're locked up right now, or they paid their way out of jail or whatever.
Because they were told no.
Because they were told no.
Yeah.
And didn't receive it.
That's real. That's real. So, I mean, we've talked about some of the hindrances of not being able to say no.
Right.
not being able to accept no. Some of the benefits of not being able, some of the benefits of saying no and accepting a no. What do you think some of those would be?
So, and it's you find new passions when somebody tell you no. I mean, think about it. It's like, man, if I would have never, if I would have accepted that job, I would have never known that I like doing this or that I could do this.
Right.
You know, I would have never known. Look, I didn't know I liked this.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they said no, you can't have this. But so like sometimes people will say no to present you with something better.
Yeah.
That's a major benefit.
Yeah.
Major benefit. Now I ain't talking about those no's as like, hey, do you got size 10? No, we got size 7. I asked for a size 10.
Right.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like they say, hey, you know, okay, we got this car with cloth seats and manual adjusted seats. I mean, well, I want this car with cloth seats and manual adjusted seats. No, we don't have that, but we do have this, and it has leather seats, electric,
everything
adjust, and also heated and cooled. What? Because they told you for the same price. Yeah. Because they told you no to one thing. Mm-hmm. And I know you want to say, well, that's because they were out of this or out of that. No, they just wanted to broaden your horizon. Yeah. So no can do that. No can say no can say no, you're thinking on too small of a level.
So essentially what I'm hearing is no doesn't always close door. Sometimes no can open doors too.
Right. No can open a door that you ignored.
I didn't even know it's there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Right.
Think of another benefit of being able to accept no is that sometimes when we ask for some things, we don't know what we're getting into.
Right. Come on.
Let me just, we like cars, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For the longest, man, like, I mean, just maybe 10 or so years ago, I wanted a BMW 745 so bad. I wanted one so bad, and I was at a position and a point where I found one. It was nice, it was a good price and everything like that, and I really could have gotten it. You know what I'm saying? And my cousin and my uncle both had 745s, and so before I went to pull the trigger on this car, I said, let me go talk to my cousin, my uncle. And I actually ended up talking to my cousin. I said, hey, cuz, you got this car, man. What are some things I can be expecting when I get into something like this? Because and I'm saying this because of the no. My wife didn't say no. She was just like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure?
Which means no.
Yeah, it's essentially, yeah.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
No. Come on, ladies.
Yeah, it is what it is, yeah. And so when I start talking to my cousin, because no, what my wife does, she used to always say, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And that's I don't like it.
Right.
But you're going to do what you want to do anyway. So it's going to be on you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, like I'm saying, like, I talked to my cousin about it. He was like, cuz, I want you to just be aware when you go into this car. It's a nice car. You got all the bells and whistles, man. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. But your oil change is going to cost this much money. And your tires are going to cost this much. You have to get one replaced. And then if you have to get a tune-up, it's going to cost this much money. And if you have to do your insurance, it's going to go up to this much money. You know what I'm saying? And he started telling me all these things. I'm like, hold on, this price on this car is this. And I can afford the price on the car, but I couldn't afford to make this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't afford, the premium gas.
Right.
I could afford it, but I didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so all these things that came along with it, my wife was like, her saying a side note, basically told me basically
Right.
to
Come on.
prompted me to actually go find out some more information
Right,
about
right,
it,
right,
and
right.
it
That's
actually ended
good.
up helping me in the long run because I could have gotten that car, but I would have been miserable in it because while I could afford the car, the actual maintenance of the car, it would have been a burden.
Right, right.
You know,
Man,
and I
that's
could have did it, but it would have taken money away from other
right,
things.
right,
You know,
right. So, I mean, there are the benefits of no. There are a lot of benefits in it. I mean, a no can save you. Like I said, a no can keep you out of trouble. You just said no can save you money. You know, no could also broaden your horizons, getting you to think about different things. No could, get you to start brainstorming.
yeah, gives you boundaries.
Right.
It lets you place boundaries, and also gives you boundaries on the other end.
And help you prepare.
Yes, yes.
People, good business people prepare for no.
yes,
They prepare for no. And that's how you overcome no. And I mean, don't get me wrong. You can overcome no to eventually get to yes. But that's when it's not like you feel like you're entitled to yes. You working for that yes.
right, right.
You're working for that yes, But like if, but then there are some that's like, you know what? You said no, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah,
And
yep. And you pay for it,
you pay for it.
one way or the other.
You pay
It's
for
gonna cost
it.
you time.
Right.
It's gonna cost you some emotional distress.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Whatever it
right.
is, you gonna pay for it.
Right. And I know we say a bought lesson is a taught lesson, but man, some of
expensive,
them,
man.
right? Some of them way too expensive. I ain't got deep pockets like
Right,
that.
right.
So I mean, learn how to, accept your no, and take your. I don't want to really say take your no with a grain of salt, but like take your no and learn from your no experience. It's like, okay, I received no. So and like we posed the question, is there a reason why? Should I seek out a reason why they said no, or should I just accept my no and wait on God to reveal to me later on, why I received no? But let no be a benefit to you in more ways than one.
Yes, definitely.
Really, because you don't want to overexert yourself, saying yes to this and that and all this other stuff. And, kids will break you
Yes.
if you said yes to everything.
Yes.
Oh, man. And kids do not, they don't mind breaking you.
Yeah.
If they, it's like kids will, because they know it's there and available.
Exactly. But because kids don't have an actual idea of what all it takes, what all goes
Right.
into it. And so they just ask.
Right.
And sometimes, that's a picture of how God wants us to
Right.
not worry about how it's going to get done. Just come to me and ask for me. But at the same time, you got to also be ready to, if I say
Right.
no, process
Right.
that.
I'm reminded of, because a no could lead you to a new route. Like we said, how many people who are now we know as millionaires, been told no. And let me, on the side note, I'm going to go here. You overcoming your no is not for you to go back and throw it up in somebody's face and
Ooh,
say,
come on, boy.
because you said no, I
Come
still
on,
shine
boy.
because of you. You know how y'all.
I'm about to go floss on my haters.
Right. Pinch the air for some reason, I don't know. Right. It ain't no, that's not what that's for. You thank God for the grace of that no, to say, you know what, they said no, but because they said no, this is what I was able to do, you know. So like, when you are growing in your no, don't, like I said, don't go and just throw it up in people's face, and don't feel like, all right, I'm entitled, so you need to tell me why and all that good stuff,
Right. And I want to touch on one more thing. And back to when you started, we were saying, should we just take? It's okay to ask why, And I think we mentioned earlier, like sometimes it's not. It's all on how you ask that why.
Right.
Because did I say? I don't know if I said that earlier, but in the podcast, but I know we talked about this before the podcast started. But sometimes when you're saying, but why? But why can't I? Even when the Lord say no,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And so when you come whining, asking the question, you come trying to, like you said earlier, badgering and asking the question, like, you gonna tell me why?
Right.
No, he's not gonna say nothing to you because I said so. You know what I'm saying? Like a parent. You know what I'm saying? But if you come in the position of, hey, I understand you said no, but I simply need to get some clarification.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't even my youngest son being Daniel TJ, that comes and say, hey, I know you said no, but Daddy, can you tell me why? I'm not gonna be like, cause I said so, and because I said, what good parent gonna do all that?
Right.
If they come to you and they seeking understanding,
right.
You know what I'm saying? As a good parent, I'm gonna say, you know what? Well, since you asked like that, then I'm gonna tell you why.
Right.
Even if you don't understand right now.
Right.
Because of the way you came to me and asked me why, I don't have a problem telling you why.
Right. And I mean, and it's just really as simple as that. There's relationship that and you asking why. But especially if your kids come where, go to God like that if you want to. I don't know what he'll do, but I ain't trying to find out. Like, God, you're a mean God because you always telling me no.
Right.
No.
That ain't it.
Right, that ain't it. So I want to say this too. There's a time in the Bible when like I said, no could lead you to another route. There's a time in the Bible where, David was about to go and fight somebody, and he was like, should I go and fight them, or should we go this way? And God said no. It's like, no, don't go, don't do it this way. Go that way.
Yep.
Go that way, because here it is. It's like I think we were talking where I think this may have been before the podcast. It's like, we can see different perspectives, right? So like, my buddy Tamarco, he called it Madden vision, where like, Madden can see, John Madden, when he was in the skybox, he could see where he was like, oh, the defense is in this setting,
formation, yep.
Right, in this formation. Oh, they're in the blitz formation. The quarterback needs to watch out, or the run ain't gonna work on this one, or whatever, because of what John Madden sees. And God, he sits far above where John Madden sees.
Come on, Doc.
So he's like, no, don't go that way. Why? If we were to say why,
we don't practice this play over and over again. We ready for it.
Right. Why can't I go that way? And we go and do it anyway. I'm gonna go anyway. And because here's what we don't do. We don't wait on the answer. A lot of times we don't even wait on a no. We don't wait on the no, and we don't wait on the explanation. We just take off and do it. And God could have been saying, no, David, I don't want you to go that way, because that's where they are. They're preparing for you to come this way. They practice this. As a matter of fact, the way you're going is their field of expertise. You know what I mean? So no, don't go that way. So like, no will lead you to a totally different route that will benefit you. That's the whole reason why we're talking about overcoming no, to where you can make no really work for you. And no working for you don't always lead you into, great success, but no working for you could also lead you to not having to spend a whole lot of money, which is great success to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Waste a whole lot of time.
Right. You don't have to waste a whole lot of time. You don't have to waste mental power, or mental, you don't have to waste it on, you trying to do your own thing, or you trying to override the no that you received.
Yeah, that's good, man. So, look, again, there is a space for no.
Right.
There are situations in which no is needed.
Right.
From you saying no to you receiving no.
Right.
And so, again, don't automatically assume that no is negative. Step back from the situation.
Right.
When you receive that no.
Right.
Or even when you're asked something, you have to give a no. Step back. Like Tony, I think said in the last podcast, like, take you a couple of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath or something.
Right.
And breathe before you respond.
Right.
To either you being asked something or you being told no. You know what I'm saying? So that you will be able to kind of maneuver through this thing a little bit better, because what I'm finding the theme on all of our podcasts have typically been changing your perspective on whatever that situation is.
Right.
And so once you step back and gave yourself a second to breathe, it gives you the ability to look at it from a different perspective, from that Madden view. You know what I'm saying? And then you can kind of like, okay, so maybe I need to say no. Or maybe this person's saying no for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And then you can kind of be able to better, I ain't gonna say it's gonna feel good automatically, or you're gonna completely understand it automatically, instantly, but take a step back and ask the Lord, okay, why?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or, so.
Right. So, I mean, receive your no with grace. And, so like if it's you having to receive a no, search the Lord for options. All right, well, what else could I do? Or if you have to say no, make sure that there's value there. Hey, this is the reason why there's a no. So if you feel necessary to give the explanation on no, give it. Or if you don't feel that it's necessary, you can still make your no count by accomplishing the very reason why you said no.
Yes.
So overcome no. Sometimes, I mean, like I said, place some value on you and be like, you know what, it's going to have to be no, because you owe it to yourself to say no. Yes. You do. Think about you when you say no. I ain't saying be selfish, but there may be a moment where you have to take it there.
Yes, definitely. Another good one, man.
Another good one, man.
Again, so, you asked the question earlier. Give us your feedback on our question of the podcast, and let us know how you feel about it. If you are watching on YouTube, you can put in our comments down below. If you're listening to it on an audio podcast like Apple, Google, something like that, you can always come to one of our social media pages.
Yeah.
And we can start a conversation there. You know what I'm saying? So, as always, we ask everybody to be respectful.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own opinion. And so we're going to make sure we're conducting ourselves accordingly.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, again, you can always reach us on our social media platforms, be it Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It is Raw Talk Christian Podcast. And reach out to us if you need to email us at our Gmail, rawtalkchristianpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
And check us out on YouTube if you're not already looking at it. So, as always, my name is Tim.
And I'm Tony.
This has been Raw Talk Christian Podcast, and we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.